be seated. And thank you for being here. My name is Sharon Lee Johnston, and in my capacity as Registrar for the District of Aberfoyle and Menteith and Stirling, I have been appointed by the Registrar General for Scotland as a person authorised to solemnise civil marriages in accordance with the provision of the Marriage Scotland Act. Before I proceed with your marriage ceremony, it is necessary that you should first both identify yourselves by answering the following questions. Your first, Shabir. Are you Shabir Hussain Ravji, whose usual residence appears on the marriage schedule as 82 Kiln Place, Livingston?
I am.
And you, Polly. Are you Polly Catherine May Humberston, whose usual residence appears on the marriage schedule as 82 Kiln Place, Livingston? I am. Ladies and gentlemen, the nikah ceremony.
Wil tut das mich.
We who are assembled here would solemnly solemnize your marriage in the presence of these witnesses, your friends and family, in accordance with the law of Scotland. I confirm that the requirements of that law preliminary to marriage have been satisfied and that the legal impediments to marriage have been explained. Before you, Shabir, and you, Polly, are joined in marriage, it is my duty to remind you of the binding character of the vows you are about to make. Marriage, according to the law of this country, is a union of two people voluntarily entered into for life to the exclusion of all others. Shabir and Polly, will you turn to face each other? And Shabir, will you take both of Polly's hands in your own? Do you, Shabir Ravji, solemnly and sincerely declare, as witnessed by those here present, that you know of no legal impediment to your marrying Polly Humberston? And do you take her as your lawful wedded wife, promising to comfort and care for her, to value and respect her, to stand beside her through good times and bad, to love, honour and cherish her to the exclusion of all others from this day forward?
I do.
Do you, Polly Humberston, solemnly and sincerely declare, as witnessed by those here present, that you know of no legal impediment to your marrying Shabir Ravji? And do you take him as your lawful wedded husband, promising to comfort and care for him, to value and respect him, to stand beside him through good times and bad, to love, honour and cherish him to the exclusion of all others from this day forward? Will the best man, Brian Jackson, please step forward and bear the first string for the groom to give to his bride? Shabir, as you take the ring and place it upon Polly's left hand, please repeat after me. I, Shabir, do solemnly and sincerely declare.
I, Shabir, do solemnly and sincerely declare
That I know of no legal impediment to our marriage.
that I know of no legal impediment to our marriage.
And I take you, Polly,
And I take you, Polly,
to be my wife.
to be my wife.
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a sign of my love and commitment.
as a sign of my love and
Today, of our lives.
and every day of our lives.
Will Brian please step forward and bear the second ring for the bride to give to her groom? Polly, as you take the ring and place it upon Shabir's left hand, please repeat after me. I, Polly, do solemnly and sincerely declare that I know of no legal impediment to our marriage, and I take you, Shabir, to be my husband. I give you this ring as a sign of my love and commitment today and every day of our lives. As a seal to the union into which you both enter, as a sign of your marriage, as a symbol of the promises you have both made today, these rings are given and received. Following the binding declaration which you have made before me in the presence of all these witnesses, it gives me the very greatest of pleasure to declare that you, Shabir Hussain Ravji, and you, Polly Catherine May Umberson, are now husband and wife. Is to seat your lovely wife.
Oh.
Shabs, you lost.
There are a lot of people who come from really far away. So I know my auntie's from Bulgaria.
Yes, it's here.
Yep, yeah, there she is. Italy. Yeah, there you go. Sweden. Sweden by foot, if anyone saw Thomas running in earlier. Dubai. And Uganda. There you go. So I know that you guys all want to eat, so I'm going to make this really, really succinct. And I know that that's the trait I've got. So I'm just going to stick to that. When Polly and I started to think about planning our wedding, it became really clear that weddings are an amalgam of emotion, tradition, and legal procedure. I've enjoyed looking up various wedding traditions from around the world and through time. German weddings, for example, involved the married couple cutting a log with a double-ended saw. That's to symbolize the building of a new home. In Korea, the happy couples exchanged ducks, because ducks are supposed to be a monogamous animal. Traditional Chinese weddings involve elaborate tea ceremonies, in which the newlyweds are greeted by their extended family with an offering of tea under their new titles. So the new mother-in-law would go to her new daughter-in-law, here you go, have some tea, daughter-in-law, here you go, mother-in-law. It makes it all official. So marriage in some form or other has been around as far back as recorded human history, and it was a key part of the Hammurabi Code around 4,000 years ago. But of course, a lot of wedding traditions that we think of today are from the Romans, from the white dress, although it was yellow then, to giving away the bride, which the Romans took literally, or carrying the bride over the threshold of the doorway of the new home, because if she tripped, it was seen as a bad omen, and wearing a wedding ring on the third finger, because it was believed that a vein ran from that finger straight to the heart. When I asked Polly if that was true, she just said, look, all veins end in the heart anyway. It goes without saying that weddings today don't mean the same thing that they used to. Both the meaning and the rituals of weddings and marriage have evolved and changed over time, with each generation revisiting what it means to them while maintaining a link to the past. Like all symbols, the pageantry and tradition ultimately has a significance that we place upon it. Our wedding is a celebration that Polly and myself found each other, and I'm truly knowing the meaning of the phrase, better half. As my mum observed, Polly brings out the very best in me. And anyone who's known me for any length of time will agree that that's definitely worth celebrating. When I met Polly, she was so focused, particularly on pursuing her career in medicine. And I always wondered, when did she decide to become a doctor? I asked her, and she said that it was well before she could remember. So finally, while walking up Studley Pike with Polly's mum, I asked her, and she said that when Polly's nan, her late nan when Polly was very young, her late nan had arthritis. And the nan joked with her, are you going to be a doctor and make me feel better? And Polly, of course, said yes. So from 6 to now, that's where we are. Polly doesn't just have the qualities that are so obvious to anyone who meets her, all worthy natural beauty, and an amazing ability to solve any logical puzzle, jigsaw, advanced biochemistry, it's all pretty much the same to Polly. She does it all with intimidating ease. But she has deeper qualities of compassion and determination too. Polly, everything about who you are lights up the lives of those around you. I'm so happy to call myself your husband. And so a large part of today is to celebrate me and my incredible luck at having found such an amazing partner to stand alongside. I don't know what the future holds, but whatever it is, it's going to be better facing it with you. But today is more than just a celebration of my luck. Weddings are totemic, no longer about the transfer of wealth and alliances from one generation to the next. Now a wedding is the only event that punctuates your life, which you plan and choose and design. And we've chosen to share it with all of you. It may full well be the only day when all the different strands of your life, old friends from childhood, and I can see a couple of you out there, family friends, I can see some of those too, newer friends from adulthood and family are all together in one room. And so we really, really want to say thank you. Thank you for the role that you played in us being here today and in our lives more generally. Maybe you're an auntie who invited a teenage nephew to stay with you. Or maybe you're a friend who's had more cups of tea than either of us can care to remember. I know I can go around the room and single out each and every one of you who directly or indirectly, through some gesture, large or small, has enriched our lives. I have wonderful memories with my brothers and my sisters. Being a youngest child, I was always spoiled for attention and a bit of a show-off. I'd always hog the limelight, but that's something I've completely ditched now. I can remember a Bart Simpson-themed birthday when my older sister Shani over here made a Bart Simpson shaped birthday cake for me. I don't actually remember how old I was, but that's a detail that I'll never forget. Well, speaking of cake, when all of my siblings and me attempted to bake a silver wedding anniversary cake for my two parents, it ended in a big mess. I remember arguing over which football team was going to win the 1994 Coca-Cola Cup final with my brother. It was Liverpool. Or having some cheese on toast and debriefing about the events of the day with my older sister Cunnies. She was always around to make up a funny rhyme or just to have a chat. And alongside having such wonderful siblings, they have amazing partners who've become just as much a part of my personal memories. Highlights include having my brother-in-law pick me up from the Lake District, pick a 16-year-old Shabir and an 18-year-old Zishan up from the Lake District after our first independent holiday went a bit south and I got injured. I know Polly too has a close relationship with each of her sisters. Amy, Lucy and Sally, you all look stunning and make amazing bridesmaids. I'm always treated to stories of fashion shows and wandering about in forests, and I couldn't hope for 3 more lovely siblings, even if you are 3 more sisters. So many of you are close friends and former flatmates, having had long conversations over cups of tea, long walks, runs to ballot, games of catch, hill walking trips, or coffee breaks. Talking about all manner of topics, I've learned so much from everyone here. I know Polly too has so many friends who played a similar role in her life. A special mention has to go to Sylvia, where's Sylvia? Yeah, Sylvia, who's helped out so much in the last couple of weeks, including surprising Polly with a bungee jump a couple of weeks ago. And of course my nieces and nephews, well, nephews and niece, my favourite niece. You won't know how lovely it is to have you guys around. Well, I'm going to say a line that annoys all children everywhere. When you get older, you'll all understand. I've been incredibly blessed to have had you all in our lives and here to celebrate with us. But no one has played a bigger role in our lives than our parents and grandparents. It's testament to each of you that our generation are all individuals, some artistic, some scientific, all with different characters, carving our paths with the confidence that loving parents provide. So Dad, Mum, Granny May, we want to thank you all, give you a token of our appreciation, which I didn't organise just before this, so I will give you afterwards. Polly's mum Patricia, I owe you and Andrew my love. I never had the chance to meet Polly's late father Andrew, but I feel that I owe so much to him. I know Polly remembers her dad every day. I hear about model trains or Back to the Future movies. Andrew raised an incredible family that I'm privileged to now be a part of, and I know he's missed every single day, and perhaps especially today. There are also many of our late grandparents who can't be with us. Herbert and Doris Hartley, Tony Humberstone, Umar Ali Jaffer, Lalji and Sakina Bayrovji. I'd like to invite you all to take a moment to remember all of our loved ones who've passed, the Madum and Madumeen who are conspicuous by their absence, with a moment's silent remembrance, or Surah Fatiha, or prayer of your choosing. The common strand through all of these relationships is love, which I hope all of our lives are filled with. Love feels like it can mean too many things. I know the Greeks had 5 different words for love, and in Urdu there are more words than I know. My favourites are pyar, blissful romantic love, muhabbat, harmonious and peaceful love, and ishq, the selfless love of dedicating yourself to something else totally. Polly and I hope and pray that our relationship is filled with each of these, but they all seem like they require so much work. Pyar requires quality time and headspace to be given to a partner. Muhabbat requires understanding and compromise, to listen and to hear. Ishq requires placing something besides yourself at the centre of your world. And I'm going to be honest with you, all of that sounds really difficult. But I'm lucky because I've got a secret weapon, all of you. So before letting you go, I have a favour to ask. I want each of you to help us as you've always done. Help us to have the kind of marriage full of love, support, respect and caring that we really want. And I'm sure that you will. There's no bigger testament to each of you than my certainty that I can count on all of you to help us out in every way you can. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the day, and a final thanks has to go to my best man, Brian, who's truly lived up to the name. I want to thank you all again for sharing this special moment with us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day.
With an English accent and never quite made it. We did kind of humour him along the way. He speaks better Scottish sometimes than he does Geordie, so thank you, sorry, I'm going to have to keep doing that. He loved dressing up. He found very, very early on, he found a bit of a love for Harry Potter, and I remember buying him the first version of the Philosopher's Stone, and we used to read it together and getting dressed up. And he used to love Paddington Bear, and he'd go, like, he's got his little turtle slippers on over there. He's bugged us for anything to do with the turtles. Pay attention to that one. And any occasion, and he'd put on a good suit, so he hasn't failed us today. There was a story where when I can't remember how old you were, but I took you to the cinema to watch Home Alone. And he was so tiny, I used to have to hold the cinema seat down so his feet wouldn't end up near his face. Home Alone, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I can't remember which one it was. It was one of those. Sorry? It was Home Alone. There we go. Thank you very much. Okay, so very early on, he showed his love for food and cake and tea. It's kind of a theme in his life. And this is him with Jason Swift, his old school friend. And they made this cake, and you have kind of mentioned this a little bit. They made this cake, and it was a beautiful cake. Never got to taste it, I can't remember it. But when it came to my mum and dad's 25th wedding anniversary, we decided we were going to make the cake. It's a bit of a, all four of us got together, we shunted mum and dad out of the kitchen, made this cake, everything went to clockwork. The cake was amazing. Then we iced the cake and started to decorate the cake. And I've never seen anyone with blue food colouring completely cover the entire kitchen. We had some, tiles, kind of like ceramic tiles, scrubbing the blue food colouring with a toothbrush out of the grouting, freaking himself out completely. The cake was still amazing though, bit of a mess, but a good bonding experience, I think. Very soon after that, he became a teenager. All I'm going to say is there were quite a few of these pictures, and I just picked one. So, but he found his deep side. He found his philosophical side, and he actually started thinking about life quite a lot, actually. He also discovered his hair, and he spent ages and ages trying to get his hair right. He didn't quite get it right there. There's another little look there. That one kind of continued for quite a while. But there were improvements, absolute improvements. Don't know what Ace Ventura kind of look you were going for. It kind of worked a little bit better. Hair's been a really big part of his life. So. Soon after that, he discovered travelling, and I think his bug for seeing the world, discovering new things, and finding out about the way that different people live and different people work has really stayed with him. And I just got a little bit of a collection of kind of all the photos there. He's been travelling around. And one particular trip that really stayed with him was when he spent a summer in a school in Bangalore, where he went out and he taught maths and played football and worked with young kids. And that kind of mentoring has really stayed with him, and it's something that he certainly continues to today when he kind of works with the project that he works with in Glasgow. Is that right? Great, cool, that'll do. And that's certainly a thing. He loves walking as well. And there's a brilliant picture, a couple of pictures that he sent. He used to send us all these pictures of these amazing vistas. And there is a particular story, and again, you've kind of mentioned we really needed to check our speeches, by the way, where he and a friend Zish, who I see kind of in the audience, came and stayed with us. David and I live in Manchester, came and stayed with us and decided that they were going to walk Striding Edge, which is part of Helvellyn, and they were about 16, 17 at the time. And about 6 hours later, we got a phone call saying that they'd got to the top and he'd hurt his ankle, could we come and pick him up? Of course we did. We did get quite a lot of use out of him because we were converting our basement at the time, so you ended up helping out, so thank you very much for that. That was brilliant. He also loves cycling as well. And again, he'd send us these amazing pictures of these views and on top of hills. All we could think about was, why are you sending pictures of Lycra? And again, these are the tame ones, believe me. And the theme continued as well. I did find some pictures of him running, and he did run competitively. I think he's run every single kind of canal, river, sidewalk in Glasgow, and it's certainly something that stays with him. He even went through a bit of a phase of fell running as well, a little bit, which I never ever understand. Just stop and see the flowers. But it is something that certainly kind of stays with him. Okay, so post-uni, he decided to stay at university. He continued his studies. We were kind of thinking, what was he going to do? Was he going to find his meaning in life? Was he going to find his path? And then he became a thinking man. He carried on. He got his PhD. We were not convinced that he was going for the academic accolade. It was because he wanted to drink tea. And for those of you who did his PhD with him, you'll know that tea and cake featured, we were talking about this earlier, tea and cake featured a huge amount in his life so far. So whatever university fund you got money for society, you did well out of it, definitely. He still has a very sweet side to him. He is a funny man. He's absolutely brilliant. I've got 2 boys. We've got 6 grandchildren in our family, and he's an absolute inspiration to all of them. He brings fun, he brings laughter. Occasionally he brings books about economics, but we'll read those first. But that fun side stays with him, as we saw last night. When, as part of a big family tradition, We had a mandua last night, which is where the groom's family wish him well, and he pretty much got egged by all of us in the middle of the woods. So yeah, that's about it really. So finally, I just wanted to say, we're really pleased that he's found Polly, and he's very eloquently shared kind of the joy and the happiness that you both bring it out in each other, I think. You're absolutely brilliant together. It's been brilliant to know you both, and I can absolutely see that kind of all the amazing kind of adventures that you're both going to go on throughout life. We love you very much, Shabs. Absolutely love you. And Polly, you are just a huge part of that global family love that we have. So welcome to the family. And as part of that, we just wanted to give you a little gift from Mum and Dad. So, oh, no?